Hey guys, welcome back. Today I thought I would share with you guys what my best affordable highlighters are for fair skin. And I know that when you are super fair, sometimes it's hard to find highlights, like different colored highlights that work for you. And I have several different categories that I wanted to share with you guys that work on fair to light skin tones. The first category is going to be white highlights, and you know, when you're extremely fair, sometimes that's the only colored highlight that you can wear. But I'm going to share two of my very favorite white highlights. One of them is in this Makeup Revolution palette, and this is like a stark white highlight. So if you are extremely fair, this highlight is gonna look gorgeous on you. I mean, I can get away with using this. It's a very intense, blinding highlight. This is the e.l.f. Baked Highlighter in Moonlight Pearls. And this is one of those highlights that you can apply lightly and it looks more natural, or you can go in with several layers of it and make it super intense and really blinding. That's why I really enjoy these e.l.f. Baked Highlighters, just because it's versatile how you can go about applying them. So as you can see with this one, it's almost like a white champagne color. Moving on up to my favorite pink highlights. These are another type of highlight that I just reach for and gravitate towards a lot. My two favorite that are super intense, the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Powder in Blossom Glow. This is just an extremely intense, wet looking pink highlight. So that's what it looks like there. Like, it is so blinding. Now this can accentuate pores and, you know, textures, so just keep that in mind. But if you want an extremely blinding highlight and you're really fair, that's a good one. Also, the Pixie by Petra and Delicate Dew. This is a great, really blinding pink highlight. I never really use the other shade in here. It's too dark for me, but the pink in here is so pretty. So this one is slightly a little bit more pink than the Wet n Wild, like as you can see from the side, like it has more color. But on the cheeks, I never noticed it being like too pink or anything, but both of those are really beautiful. The Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Bar in Air. This is such a gorgeous pink. This is a good, like, it's an intense highlight, but it doesn't show texture. I think it's just because it's like more finely milled or something. I'm not real sure what it is about it, but see, like as you can see, it's not quite as intense as those other two, but it looks really pretty on the skin. It's almost like a pink champagne color. This Maybelline Master Strobing Stick in 100 Light. This is also a really pretty pink. This is more of a natural kind of wet looking highlight. I don't know if you can really see it there on my arm, but if you're looking for a highlight that's like more natural, that's a pink toned, this is a really great one. The last one is in the Makeup Revolution palette, which I know that this is kind of in between a pink and a nude highlight, but compared to my nude highlights, it definitely looks more pink. So I'll swatch it next to these so you can see. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's kind of like a nude pink. Okay, sorry about that. My battery just died in my camera and I had to swap out batteries, so if the position of my camera changed. And I also noticed that my battery died in my mic, so hopefully the sound is okay. And I feel like this is crooked. Okay, but yeah, back to what I was saying. Like in that Makeup Revolution, as you can see, it's more of like a nude pink. So I just love all these pink highlights. They are my favorites, and all these will work great on anybody with fair, light skin. So I know it can be really hard to find good gold highlights that are not like too yellowy gold and just look weird. And I have several that I want to share with you guys that just look really beautiful on very fair skin. This first one is the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Bar in Earth. And this is a golden champagne color. And just like the one in Air, it's an intense highlight, but at the same time, it doesn't show texture or anything. It's really beautiful. And I feel like I say that about all the highlights, that they're really beautiful, but it is really beautiful. So, like from the side, it just really blends in with my skin tone, and then you can see when you turn how pretty that is. So that is a really good gold highlight. If you're looking for a super intense gold highlight, the Pixie by Petra in Subtle Sunrise, the gold, and this is so beautiful. And there I go again. I just said it was so beautiful, but it is. And this is a dupe for the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlight in Amrezy, the Amrezy highlight. So as you can see, that one is definitely very intense and more gold, but it's not too yellow gold to where it looks weird on somebody with super fair skin. And then my last favorite gold highlight is out of the Makeup Revolution palette. And this one is definitely the most yellow gold out of the ones that I like. And this is probably as yellow, like, I couldn't go any more yellowy gold than this. So there is that one. So it kind of gives you an idea on the different shades. But none of these are too golden for me. And I have a mix of Subtle Sunrise, the golden color, and the Maybelline Master Strobing Stick, because I have this on first and then I decided to make it more intense for this video because I wanted my highlight to be really intense. Then I wanted to show you all my favorite nude highlights, and the Essence Pure Nude Highlight in Be My Highlight. This is so pretty when you want a really natural highlight that's not super intense. Also, the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana is another one of those highlights that's really natural. So if you were extremely fair, this Pure Essence, the Essence Pure Nude Highlight might be slightly a little too dark. So if that's the case, and you're a little bit more fair than me, then get this Wet n Wild highlight and Reserve Your Cabana, because this is lighter than the Pure Nude, but it still has that same just natural effect. It might even be slightly a little bit more natural than the Essence one. So there's the Reserve Your Cabana. It's so crazy, but like back in the day, before like all these super intense highlights started coming out, I used to think that this was like more intense than what it is, because it is not an intense highlight whatsoever than that Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana. But it's a good highlight if you want something that's really natural and you're really fair. I totally forgot about these powder highlights. These things are beautiful on fair skin. I'm gonna have to share those with you guys too. Okay, so back to nude highlights. The e.l.f. Baked Highlight in Blush Gems. This is a gorgeous, really intense nude highlight, which it's one of those highlights you can build it up. Like you can make it not quite as intense if you just use a light hand with it, which I guess you can do that with any like super intense highlight. But this one is probably as dark as I could go on like these nude highlights, but it is really pretty. It almost has like a rose gold sort of look to it compared to the other nude highlights. The CoverGirl True Blend Super Stunner palette. This also has some really gorgeous nude highlights. This first one, I never use this because it's just kind of weird for my skin tone. It's like a little too yellow for me, and it's more of a natural highlight. So I never really reach for that, but these other two are just beautiful. And they look more intense on your cheeks than they do swatched for some reason. Like it's so weird. They're the bottom two down here. And these are kind of along the same lines as the e.l.f. highlight, nude highlighter. So, I mean, really the Essence Pure Nude is lighter than these other ones I'm showing you. So, I'll show you these loose highlighting products, and I think one of them is more of like a nude and the other is more of a like a pink color. The Wet n Wild Mega Glow Loose Highlighting Powder in written in the stars. This thing is so freaking intense, especially if you apply it with a damp sponge. But this is gorgeous on fair skin. And this is more of a nudie pink color. But if you're looking for a super blinding highlight, and then the Milani loose highlight in Radiant. This is also a nude. Woo, about dropped it everywhere. This one is definitely a little bit more nude, and it's not quite as intense as the Wet n Wild one, but that's what the Milani one looks like. So if you're more into loose setting powders, which this Milani one, sometimes I'll even use it as like a setting powder for my face when I want my face to be more illuminated. I also do that with the Wet n Wild Reserve Your Cabana. My last category is colored highlights. And I know with colored highlights, sometimes it's really hard to find ones that work. These two here, which are from Essence, the Essence Pure Nude Space Lighter and the Essence Pure Nude Cosmo Lighter. The Space Lighter is a pink, like a white pink shift highlight. And this is so pretty. And then this is the Cosmo Lighter, which is a green. And like these two mixed are really pretty together as well. And then the last kind of colored highlight is out of the Zodiac, the BH Cosmetics Zodiac palette. But the highlight in here is really, really pretty for fair skin. It's like a white gold. It's like a white with like a gold shift to it. I hope that you guys did enjoy this video. I hope that you found it helpful. Hopefully it'll give you some ideas of some new highlights to pick up. If there is a highlight that I didn't mention that is your absolute favorite from the drugstore that is good for fair skin, let us know down in the comments. I'm always interested in finding new highlights. If you guys did enjoy this, please give this video a thumbs up so I know to film more videos like this. I also did a video on best affordable bronzers for fair skin, so I'll link that down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye bye. Mwah.